Everyone, today I'm playing Kadita in the gold lane. I just wanted to share some thoughts about why it's totally okay and even good to pick a mage here instead of the usual marksman. First off, gold lane is typically considered the marksman's spot because they're usually the ones who scale really well with items and deal sustained damage. But honestly, it's not a strict rule that only MM can go there. Mages like Kadita can actually thrive in gold lane for a few reasons. One big thing is wave clear. Kadita's skills let her clear minion waves really fast, which is super important in gold lane. You need to be able to keep the wave pushed, or at least under control, so you're safe from ganks and can pressure the enemy turret. With Kadita's second skill, you can clear waves efficiently without using too much mana, and that helps keep your lane presence solid. Also, Kadita's kit offers a nice balance of damage and control. Her first skill stuns and slows enemies, which lets you trade damage safely, and even force the opponent to back off or play more cautiously. That kind of lane control can be really valuable in gold lane, where every little advantage counts. Another thing to consider is that being solo in gold lane gives Kadita a good chance to get more experience and gold. That means she can hit her item power spikes earlier, which is crucial for her. Once she gets her core items like Holy Crystal, Lightning Truncheon, and Wishing Lantern, she becomes a huge threat in fights because of her burst damage and mobility. And speaking of mobility, Kadita's ultimate combined with her skills lets her reposition quickly and safely in fights. This mobility means you're not just stuck farming in lane, you can roam, assist other lanes, or help secure objectives like Turtle or Lord. So playing her in gold lane is not just about winning your lane, it's about influencing the whole map. Also, since Kadita is a mage with high burst damage, she can take down squishy targets quickly. This adds an extra layer of threat to the enemy team because they have to respect you even if you're not a traditional marksman. That pressure helps your team a lot, especially in mid to late game fights. I know some people might think it's weird or risky to pick a mage in gold lane, but honestly, it just depends on your playstyle and what your team needs. If you're comfortable with Kadita and understand how to use her kit effectively, she can be a great pick here. You don't always have to follow the meta strictly sometimes. Breaking the norm is what gives your team the edge. So yeah, Kadita in gold lane is definitely viable. She can control the lane, scale well with items, help the team with roaming, and bring high burst damage in fights. It's just a different way to approach gold lane that can catch opponents off guard and give you some fun, effective games. Alright, now that we've covered why Kadita works well in gold lane, let's talk about how to make the most of her strengths throughout the game and some tips to keep in mind while playing. First off, itemization is super important for Kadita. Since she's a mage relying on burst damage and some cooldown reduction, you want to focus on items that maximize her magic power and mana sustain. Clock of Destiny is usually the best start that gives you a good amount of HP, mana, and magic power, plus a stacking passive that makes you stronger over time. That's perfect for a solo lane where you'll be farming a lot. Depending on the match, you can also consider items like Concentrated Energy for sustain, or Holy Crystal if you want to boost your damage output even further. Don't forget to get some magic penetration to make sure your damage doesn't get wasted, especially against enemies stacking magic resist. Next up, positioning and timing are huge with Kadita. You want to stay safe in lane, avoid unnecessary damage, and wait for the perfect moment to strike. Kadita isn't a champion who just runs in and spams skills. Her strength comes from her combos and burst damage. Use your second skill to poke and clear waves, but save your first skill stun and ultimate for when you see an opening or to escape danger. Remember, her ultimate makes her untargetable while dealing damage, so it's not just an offensive tool, but also a great way to survive in teamfights. Use that mobility wisely, get in, hit hard, then get out before they can react. One of the coolest things about playing Kadita in Gold Lane is the roaming potential. Since you'll often have wave control, you can look for chances to help your teammates in mid or jungle. Even a quick assist, or zoning the enemy away from objectives like turtle can swing the momentum in your favor. In team fights, your role is usually to dive into the enemy backline, pick off the squishier targets, and disrupt their formation. Because you can quickly burst down key heroes, the enemy will need to focus on stopping you, which can relieve pressure from your own team's marksman or tank. Don't be afraid to use your combo aggressively once you have your core items. Your burst can turn fights instantly, so timing and precision matter a lot. But also be mindful not to overextend if you go too deep without support. You can get caught out and leave your team at a disadvantage. Alright, we've covered the why and how of Kadita Gold Lane, and now it's time to level up your gameplay with combo mastery, how to handle tougher matchups, and some pro-level decision-making tips. Let's start with Kadita's bread and butter combo because if you're gonna thrive in Gold Lane or any lane, this is your main weapon. Skill 1 Ocean Ode gives Flicker optional, gives skill to Breath of the Ocean, gives ultimate Rough Waves. This combo deletes squishy targets when done right. The key is using skill 1 to reposition, then timing your skill 2 to stun just before your ult lands. If you've got Flicker, you can initiate with skill 1 and flicker forward for that surprise burst people never see it coming until they're gone. But keep in mind, Kadita's combo has a wind-up, so prediction and patience are huge. Don't panic and drop everything at once. Wait for the enemy to commit to a path or ability, then punish. Especially against high mobility heroes, you'll need to anticipate their dashes or blinks. Now for some matchup talk, because Gold Lane can get spicy with all the marksmen and fighters. Against marksmen, most Gold Laners like Leslie, Beatrix, or Brody will try to poke you out early. Play it safe till level 4, then look for the burst window. Kadita's full combo can wipe them before they even react if they're caught out. Be smart with Bush and Fog Vision Control is your best friend against fighters like Shu, Paquito, or Guinevere. These matchups are trickier. They're tankier and have mobility, so they can survive your combo or disrupt it. In these cases, focus on wave clear, roam timings, and wait for gank setups. You're not trying to outbrawl them, you're playing the long game. Against mages, rare in Gold Lane, but if you face something like Farsa or Xavier, it becomes a skill matchup. Dodge their poke, sustain with your passives, and use fog or conceal for sneaky engages. Most mages fold to Kadita's burst. Let's talk macro and decision-making, the stuff that separates good Kadita players from game-changing ones. Wave management. Know when to fast clear and roam, and when to freeze the wave near your tower to stay safe. If you keep the wave near your turret, it's harder for enemies to dive you. Roaming discipline. Don't just leave lane every time you see a skirmish. Make sure the wave is pushed first. A well-timed roam means pressure and XP advantage, while a bad one just leaves your turret vulnerable. Team fight mentality. You're not a frontliner. You're the shadow from the side. Wait for the enemy backline to expose themselves, then hit them like a tsunami. One good combo can change the tide of the whole fight. Mind games. If you're up against experienced players, they'll try to bait your ult. So hold it until they waste their dash or escape tools. Kadita's patience is power. Double kill. That's a wrap on the Kadita Gold Lane Guide. If you really want to improve faster, watch some gameplay videos from top Kadita players. Seeing how they time combos, rotate, and handle tough matchups makes a big difference. It's one thing to read tips, but watching it in action helps everything click. Look for full matches, not just highlights, and study their decisions. Keep learning, keep flowing, and let the tide carry you to Mythic.